Hi! So I just finished my jog and now we're going to go inside and we're going to make bone broth. And I'm going to make it with chicken bones, but you can make it with any kinds of bones you want except fish bones. Please don't mix fish and meat, but you can mix any kind of meat bone together. It makes a great base for soups, for stews, for casseroles, for gravies, for sauces, for chilies. So if that content interests you, click the subscribe button and let's get started.
Doesn't that look delicious? And it's so easy.
So now I'm inside and I haven't gotten out of my running clothes because I had to eat something, get some water and food in me, and I'm going to do a tabata in a little while, but I need to have a break before I do the tabata after eating so my food can digest a bit. So in the meantime, we're going to start the bone stock and then I'm going to clean up and show you the finished recipe. These are chicken bones that I had in the freezer. I made the chicken and I didn't feel like making the stock right away, so I just froze them, wrap them well. You can freeze them for up to 1 year, or you can wait until you have more bones to make an even bigger amount of stock. They're still frozen, so that's not a problem. So we're just gonna pop them into our stock pan. Then we want to add some white vinegar. I'm not going to measure it, but I generally add 2 to 3 tablespoons. And the reason why, the white vinegar will help get the nutrients out of the bones. We're also going to add some salt. I like to use sea salt, so this is the brand of sea salt my store had. It's not my usual brand, but it's okay. Once again, I would add 2/3 to 1 tablespoon of salt. I'm just kind of watching it as it falls. I'm not measuring it. And the salt is also to get all the nutrients out of the bones. Now here I have 8 cups of water that I just boiled. I'm going to pour that in. Now you don't have to use boiling water, but I like to use it because it just helps the stock heat up faster once I put it on the stove. And here I have a full Brita pitcher, which is 2 or 3 liters, and I'm just going to fill it up until my pot's about 3/4 full. It's actually going to take all the water. I'm actually going to put another whole Brita pitcher of water in here. So this is what my stock is like. It's only halfway up the pan. I generally like to do it to about 3/4 of the way up for 1 chicken or even more bones. So I'm going to get another whole pot of Brita water. There's my dog. She wants something. I'm going to put it on the stove, bring it to a boil, let it simmer for 1 to 1.5 hours. So I'll see you. I like to use a stock pot because they hold a lot of liquid. This, I believe, is a 20-quart stock pot. It might be even a bit larger. If not, if you don't have a stock pot, then use the largest pan that you have. But with a stock pot, you can make a lot of stock at one time.
We got all that broth and chicken meat.
So I got my tabata done and some stretching and a little bit of yoga. I've got myself all cleaned up. We're ready to finish the broth. It's been cooling for an hour. After cooking for an hour and a half, you want the broth to get cool enough that when you touch the chicken with your hands, you won't burn yourself, because we are going to use our hands to get any meat that's left off the chicken. And a sieve. I have another bowl for the remains that are going into the compost, and a clean bowl for the turkey meat, chicken meat. And then I have my pot of stock. Now the pot's very heavy. If you feel confident, you could just pour the stock slowly through the sieve into the bowl, but I don't feel that confident, so I'm going to ladle it, at least until it's a bit lighter. And you just want to do this to capture any bones. So here we go, I'm going to take a piece of chicken, and to capture any chicken meat. Okay, I think the pan is probably light enough now that I feel comfortable to pour it, and just pour it through slowly. So I'm going to immediately transfer some of the stock into a storage container. So we're going to just pour it like this. All right, so now we have a little bit of meat here. I'll pull that out and put it into the meat bowl, making sure I don't get any bones though. So So now I'm going to pick through and pull out all the good pieces of meat. I don't want skin, I don't want bones, but look, there's still a lot of meat that came off in the stock. So I will continue pulling all the meat off. You can join me when I'm done. So just today, we got 20 cups of broth, which is 5 quarts, which is almost 5 liters. That's pretty amazing. And this broth is concentrated, so you can actually dilute it 1 to 1 or 2 cups of broth to 1 cup of water, as you prefer. And we also got all of this chicken meat, which is enough to make a very generous batch of chicken noodle soup, along with this batch of broth, which I'm going to dilute to 1 to 1 with water and add vegetables, and that'll be our next recipe, how to make delicious chicken noodle soup, especially in the winter when it's cold and flu season, and now it's COVID season, and chicken soup has been proven to boost your immunity. It's a good time to make chicken noodle soup, so we will do that next. But let's just look at the whole story here. So from one chicken, from just one regular size roasting chicken, I roasted it, and I got 4 portions of roasted chicken. Then I took the meat that was left and I turned it into a chicken casserole and a chicken vegetable pie, which gave us another 12 to 14 servings, depending on how big your appetite is. So just from that one chicken, we got about 16 to 20 portions of food. Of course, there were some vegetables and sauce mixed in and noodles, but so we got about 20 portions of food. And if your appetite's very small, it would be more. If your appetite's humongous, it would be a bit less. And then we got all this broth, and then we're going to get a chicken noodle soup, which is probably going to be around 3 to 4 liters of soup. So from one chicken, which doesn't cost a lot of money, look at all these meals that you get. It is great value for the money. And if you had to pay for all of this stuff to be cooked for you, you would have spent a lot of money. So this broth, that chicken was around, I think, $6 or $7. So we got 20 portions out of it, and we got 20 cups of broth. We got a bunch of meat to make soup. The water is so cheap. We do pay a very small water tax here, but it's so cheap. The water is basically free. The chicken bones that I boiled are basically free because they would go in the compost or the waste anyway. This broth is basically free. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, click that like button, and if you're not already subscribed, subscribe to my channel and click that bell. That way you know you're notified every time I'm going to upload a new video at your home. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe everybody, stay well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!